Welcome back. Today we're going to do a stir-fry noodle dish, and we're going to use some leftovers from the holidays. We're going to make noodles with mashed potatoes. So let's get started. Here we have about a half a cup of mashed potatoes, and we're going to add an equal part of just some white flour. So a half a cup of white flour, and we're going to process this. And the consistency that we're going to be looking for is the consistency of couscous. So this is going to make a little bit of noise, so I'm going to stop talking. So let me just pause that for a second. So you can see the consistency is kind of like couscous. All right, it's a little crumbly, but it sticks together when you press it. All right. So I'm going to run this a little bit more just to make sure that it's well mixed. And if it starts to form a ball, that means I've got to add a little bit more flour. So remember, that was a half a cup of mashed potatoes and a half a cup of flour. All right, see how that started to form a ball? See the ball right here? So I'm going to add a little bit more flour. Let me pull the ball apart. All right, probably just like maybe a tablespoon of flour. We'll run this for another 30 seconds or so. Alright, so see, it's still kind of formed, it's a loose ball, so I'm going to put in probably the rest of this, is about a teaspoon more. So equal parts, and then have a little bit of extra just in case. It depends on, you know, how wet or dry your mashed potatoes are. So that's pretty good. See, there's no ball there. So let's we'll grab a handful of this, and we're gonna, of course, we're gonna form it into a ball that we are then gonna roll out into the dough. So while the dough is getting rolled out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over here to the stove. And I'm going to start some water boiling. And by the time the water is boiling, I should have this dough rolled out and we'll just be able to cook it. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to the water. And that's a couple cups of water in there to boil the pasta. I'm also going to preheat my wok as well, because I'm going to do a stir fry. So let's head over here, and we're just going to roll this out. Now you can roll this, certainly roll this out by hand, but a pasta machine certainly is kind of fun. There we go. And I go more into depth how to use a pasta machine in one of my other videos, but this will only take a minute or so. all out. There we go. And I'm just kind of using the, I'm folding the pasta in half each time, just to kind of get it smooth. Here's our pasta. And now, we'll roll it out. I think I'll make thick noodles today. There we go. And what I'll do is I'm going to reach down underneath here and just guide these noodles out of the machine. And there we have some fresh noodles. The water is boiling, and I think what we'll do is we'll put in a little bit of oil in the salted water, maybe a teaspoon of oil, and then we'll just drop our noodles right in. There we go. So that water is boiling. All right, and these noodles will probably cook in about two or 3 minutes. It's very fast. You don't have to wait like dried pasta. All right. So while those are boiling up, what we'll do is we'll prepare the stir fry. Let me turn this right down so it doesn't boil over while we're over here paying attention. So our ingredients for our stir fry are pretty simple. They can be vegetables. So the first thing we'll do is some flavoring. And here we have some fresh garlic. I'll just take the side of my cleaver and just crush that garlic, just like that. And we have some fresh broccoli. And I'm just going to slice that into some bite-sized pieces. And a fresh carrot. And this is a roll cut. What I'm doing is I'm cutting it at about a 45-degree angle. And just kind of taking maybe quarter-inch slices out of that carrot. There we go. All right. So our wok is preheated. It's heated up. And what we're going to do is we're going to take maybe about a tablespoon of oil. And we'll just kind of spread that oil on the bottom of the wok. That's on high heat, by the way. And the first thing we'll do is we'll put in our freshly crushed garlic. And you can hear that kind of beginning to stir fry up. The next thing we'll put in will be our carrots. You generally put things in the order that you want them to be done. So the things you want to cook the longest, you'll put those in first. The things you don't want to cook too much, you'll put in last. There we go. So while those carrots are softening up a little bit, let's take a look at our noodles. Those noodles are all cooked up. So we'll just drain those. So those will be ready for our stir frying. So our carrots are softened up a little bit there. So let's put in our broccoli. And this is all on high heat. You don't need a lot of oil in a wok, which is great. You'll see, you know, that little bit of oil that we put in is right here on the hottest part, right in the center of the wok. And everything else above that is a little bit cooler so it doesn't burn. All right, we'll let that broccoli cook a little bit more, remembering that we put the carrots in earlier. So they'll continue to cook. So now we'll just add our noodles. Stir fry those up. And then a little bit of flavoring. If you like your noodles a little bit spicy, this is hot sesame oil. We'll put in maybe a half a teaspoon, not too much. So that's pretty hot stuff. Just for flavoring. And I'm going to add some oyster sauce. This is one of my favorite flavorings. We can turn that heat right off. And here's a nice, quick, fresh noodle stir fry. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed our time together. And we'll see you next time.